Good day, my Fit and Well students. In today's session, we're going to be doing a flexibility and stretch program for you. And first, we need to talk about, I know some of you are visual, what flexibility is. First of all, it's a component of fitness. We've gone over cardio, which is a component of fitness. That's like running, walking, your heart and lungs. We did muscle strength and muscle endurance. And then there's flexibility. And then there's body comp. So, out of all the components of fitness, probably the most neglected is flexibility. However, it is really important to have good flexibility. You're going to be less prone to injury. You're going to be able to get a better workout if you're more flexible. And basically, what flexibility, it's the range of motion through a joint. All right. It can be impeded by different things, but the main thing is it allows us to be able to do our ADLs, which is our activities of daily living, pain free. It also helps to reduce low back pain. So, this last chapter 5, it said flexibility and low back. And that's because if you have a tight, anywhere tight, it could be your hamstrings, it could be your calf muscles, it affects that low back. So, we always have flexibility and low back issues. We connect those two together. So let's talk about what we have, the FITT. It's our principle to guide us to what we should do with our flexibility and stretch program. The F stands for frequency. So you should be doing stretching at least 2 to 3 times per week. And that is because when you do strength training, it's very important to stretch afterwards. When you do a bicep curl, you're lifting that weight, that muscle is getting shorter and contracting. And if you don't stretch it out afterwards, it's going to stay contracted and tight, and you're literally going to be more sore the next day. Also, stretching helps dissipate that lactic acid buildup that you do when you get strength training. So the reason we want to do stretching at least 2 to 3 times per week is because you should be doing strength training 2 to 3 times per week, and you want to stretch afterwards. Ideally daily, and you're going to have to know that for the test. So if you can, you should be doing a stretching every single day, but at minimum, you want to do it at least 2 to 3 times per week. And then the I stands for the intensity. So your book says to mild discomfort, and I don't like that because that word discomfort doesn't sound good. So the main thing is when we go through these stretches that you want to feel the sensation of the stretch. That's the main thing, feeling the sensation. So if I'm stretching my chest and I'm not feeling it here, then I might clasp my fingers together and get deeper into that so that I feel that stretch. Type is going to depend, it's going to vary, and we're going to talk about different types of stretching. And time. Time is going to vary depending on what your goal is. Are you trying to stretch dynamically before you work out? Are you holding the stretches depending on if you're holding it for 30 seconds or 60 seconds? So that T for time is going to vary. And then type, we're going to talk about all of these. We're going to be doing some dynamic stretching, and I have done that with you when we did some strength training. We're going to talk about static stretching. We're going to do both of those. And then we have this acronym called PNF stretching. And the reason it's an acronym because it's a really hard to pronounce long word, proprioceptual neuromuscular facilitation. And PNF stretching is done a lot of times in physical therapy. If you have a personal trainer, they might do PNF stretching with you. And we will also talk about that and how to do that. And then we have what's called ballistic stretching. Ballistic stretching for your test is going to be a no-no, but it has its place. Ballistic means bouncing into the stretch. So if I'm a gymnast and I want to do the splits in the air, I am doing it dynamically. I'm jumping up and I'm doing it ballistically. So it is sport specific, but it's for the general population. Ballistic, that bouncing stretching is not good. You're going to pull ligaments or tendons typically. Again, if I'm a hurdler, then I'm jumping up in the air like so. So that's a ballistic stretch, and that's something that you would do. If, again, it's sport specific. For general population, you shouldn't do ballistic stretching. And we're also going to talk about passive and active stretching. So I'll give you some more tips of why stretching is important and a flexibility program is important. But we're going to get started together. So hopefully you're ready. And we're going to do some dynamic stretching. So dynamic stretching is done before you work out to get your blood circulating and get your muscles warmed up. So the first thing is you never, ever, ever want to stretch a cold muscle. All right. So imagine a rubber band. Take your rubber band, say that's your muscle, your tendons and ligaments, and you stick it in the freezer. Take the rubber band out of the freezer, you pull on it, it's going to break. However, if that rubber band is warm, it's going to give. So very important, if you do a stretch program standalone, you always want to do some dynamic stretching first before you do static stretching and you hold the stretch, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and do that dynamic stretching first. So everybody stand up with me and we're gonna do it from head to toe. So we're gonna start warming up the muscles of our neck. So we're gonna bring one ear or head to one side and then slowly roll chin to chest and then bring your other ear to your other shoulder. And we're gonna do, we call them crescent rolls. I just want you to do half rolls. You do not wanna do full circles because that puts too much tension on those neck muscles. So we're just gently rolling from one side to the other, right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest, nice and easy. So we're going through a range of motion. We're getting the neck muscles warmed up before we get into some static stretching of the neck muscles. So we're going to go from head to toe with dynamic, and then we're going to go into head to toe for static stretching. So again, dynamic stretching is done before you work out to prepare your body for whatever activity you're going to do. All right, now we're going to go to some shoulder rolls. So warming up those shoulders, getting the blood circulating, waking up that body, bringing them up and back. And now let's roll them forward, rolling it forward. So we're dynamically warming up those muscles of the shoulders. And now we're going to take it to arm circles. Circle those arms, inhale, exhale. Nice and easy. So for these dynamic stretches, depending on time and depending on what you're doing, you probably should try to do between 6 and 12 reps. And let's circle backwards. Inhale, exhale. Getting that mobility, warming up those muscles, waking up those arms. And now we're just going to give yourself a hug. So you're going to cross right over left and then open up the chest and then the other way. So we're crossing. Right now, we're warming up your chest and your upper back. So as you come forward, you're rounding through the upper back. As you open the arms, you're warming up the chest. So giving yourself a hug, alternating right over left. Inhale, exhale. Getting that dynamic movement. All right, so we got our neck, we got our arms, we got the upper back and chest. Now we're going to come down to your core, and we're just going to take it to those nice, easy circles. So we're stretching really through the hip flexors here, your hips, circling, inhale, exhale. And then we're going to change direction, circle the opposite way. Think about that full range of motion. Don't cheat the back side of the circle. Circle all the way around. And now let's get those abs and upper back. So I'm going to show you from the side. You're going to put your hands on your thighs. And this is what we call the cat-cow. So you're going to round your back up. So we're stretching that low back. And then we're going to arch. Exhale, round. Pull your belly button towards your spine. And then arch that back. Exhale, round. Warming up the core. Breathing out. And breathing in, rounding and arching. Couple more times. Exhale, inhale. Last time. Exhale, inhale. All right, we're going to do some leg swings. So if you feel like you need to get balance, you can hold on to a wall. Either way, you're just going to swing that leg forward and back. So right now, we are stretching the front of the leg as we swing forward dynamically, and then we're getting the back and the glute as we swing that leg back. You can swing the arms too for a little counterbalance. And now let's switch sides, really root that foot in and just swing forward and back. Inhale, exhale. There you go. This one's harder for me for my balance. All right, now we're going to take that swing across the body. Again, if you wanted to hold on the wall, we're just coming across the body, out to the side and cross. Inhale, exhale. Warming the inner and outer thigh muscles, preparing them for that static stretch, and then switching sides, crossing the body. Inhale, exhale. Again, 6 to 12 times. Breathing throughout. All right, now we're going to just give a knee hug. So just hug that knee in and then take it over to the other side. Bring it in. Inhale, exhale. Dynamically warming up those thighs. Couple more. Hope you're doing this with me and not watching. All right, now we're going to take it to butt kicks. So bring your heel to your bottom. Now we're dynamically stretching those thighs more. Inhale, exhale. All right, from here, we're going to do those Frankensteins. So arms are out here, and you're trying to bring your toe to your hand. Bring it up. Dynamically stretching the back of your leg, that hamstring. Lift it up. Going up as high as you can. Feeling that stretch. Dynamically. All right, couple more. All right, this next one's going to check your balance a little bit. It's a standing split. So I'm going to show you from the side. You're going to put one hand down and bring your leg up, and then switch the other hand, bring the leg up, okay? So touch down, lift that leg up. Standing split. Lift. 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 Couple more. Lift. Last one. All right, now we're going to warm up your shins and your calves. So I'm just going to lift my heels, lift my toes. Lift my heels and toes. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Breathing out and in. All right, so again, that's dynamic stretching to prepare you for whatever activity you're going to do. Very important, we're going to do static stretch now. You should not statically stretch right before you work out. The reason being, let's say, for example, I'm going to go for a run, all right? And I do this stretch here, and I hold it. This stretch here, and I hold it. I'm actually elongating that muscle and temporarily making it weak because it's pulled apart. So again, you wouldn't want to do static before your run because you actually could pull that hamstring. But after your run, when the muscles are tight, now your hamstring is tight, that's when you want to do the static. So dynamic, when before I go for a run, I do those walking Frankensteins, and then afterwards I hold it. So you should be all warmed up. Now we're going to go into our static stretching, and we're going to go ahead and go to the neck again. We're going to start from the head. So this time you're going to hold the stretch, and you take your hand and gently pull that just so you feel the stretch through your neck and also through your traps, your upper back. So we're just holding that stretch, and you can reach this arm down. Deep breath in through your nose, exhale out. So for the test, you should hold static stretches for 10 seconds minimum, and you could do it up to 60, all right? But typically 10 seconds is enough. However, if you're really tight, you can hold it for that full 60 seconds or even up to 90 seconds. And then switching sides. Make sure that shoulder's down. And now you're going to bring your chin to your chest so you feel that nice stretch in the back of your neck. Deep breath in through the nose, exhale out. Holding that stretch. And now slightly look up. I don't want you to look all the way up to the ceiling. I want you to look to where this wall and the ceiling meet. So gently looking up, feeling the stretch through the front of the neck. Deep breath in, exhale. We tend to have really tight neck muscles, and these are just some nice stretches to do. All right, we're going to move to your shoulders and upper back. So you're going to take your arm across your body. You don't want to grab at your elbow or your wrist. You can either grab above or below, okay? You never want to grab at a joint. And you're going to bring that arm across your body, and you should feel a stretch through the shoulder and actually through your upper back at the same time. Deep breath in, exhale out. Again, holding it for at least 10 seconds. Could hold it up to 60 or 90 seconds. And then switching sides, same thing. Maybe noticing if one side of the body is more tighter than the other, breathing into it. You also can do it for 10 seconds and repeat it a couple times, or 30 seconds and repeat the stretch. So I could actually go back if I'm feeling tight, and I could hold it for a second time around on each side. Inhale, exhale. Okay, now we're going to get your chest and actually your bicep muscle. So this one, it's a twofer, okay? We're saving time because remember, one of the most neglected components of fitness is flexibility, and it's because people say after they do the cardio and they do strength training, they don't have time to stretch, okay? But you need to make the time to stretch. So if you can get a twofer, like I stretch my shoulder and my back at the same time, now we're going to stretch our chest. So I want you to pull your arms out, and then you're actually going to take your thumbs, turn them down, and pull back more. And now you're actually stretching your chest and your biceps. So again, pull back, turn the thumbs under, and pull back a little bit more. And you should feel that through your chest and the biceps. Deep breath in, exhale out. All right, now we're going to take it to the back of the arm, the tricep. You're going to take that arm. And again, if I just do this is called active stretching, okay? Because I am doing it. But if I take this hand and assist it and go a little bit deeper into the stress, now it's passive because I'm using an outside source to get deeper into the stretch. And we'll talk about that more with some other stretches too. All right, so again, I'm feeling the sensation, but no pain in the shoulder or elbow joint. Holding it there, deep breaths. So again, you don't want excruciating pain, but you want to feel that stretch through the back of your arm. All right, we're going to take it to a side bend. I want you to bring your legs together if you can. Bring your hands together at the top, and you're just going to stretch over to the side. So we're stretching through your torso, reaching up and over. And so for my pregnant ladies, it's really important that you don't overstretch, because when we're pregnant, we have a hormone called relaxin, and your body produces more of it. We all produce it, but when you're pregnant, your body produces more so that your stomach muscles can stretch for the baby. So you're actually a little bit more flexible when you're pregnant. So don't overdo these stretches, my pregnant participants. Reaching up and over. Feel that stretch all the way through your side. All right, we're going to take it to the quadricep stretch. Again, if you need to hold on to a wall, and we're going to get a twofer again. So if I pull on my toe like so, now I'm not only stretching my quad, but I'm also stretching my shin. So I want you to see if you can pull your toe, right? And if you couldn't reach, you could always use we call this a stretch strap, and you could use that strap if you couldn't reach your foot, and that strap to pull up. You could have a rope, a belt, whatever, if you can't grab your foot. So make sure that your knee is pointed down. We're not doing this whole thing here, okay? So we want to feel the stretch in the front of the leg, the hip flexor, and then we're pulling on that toe to feel that stretch through the shin, where it tends to be really tight. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. If you want to also work on your balance, you could do it without holding on. Bring your heel to your bottom, holding that stretch, deep breaths. Pull that toe in, stretching the shin and the quad at the same time. All right, we're going to take it to a seat to stretch your inner thighs. We call this the butterfly stretch. So you're going to bring the bottoms of your feet together, and then you're going to try to bring them in towards you. So you're feeling it through the growing and the inner thigh. We call it your adductor muscles. So this is where we are going to talk about the PNF stretching. So PNF stretching is when you contract a muscle, and then it's called the contraction relaxation. So what you're going to do is you're in this position, and I want you to take your arms, put them against your thighs, and now I want you to push your legs up as your arms push down, so that you're contracting the inner thigh muscles. Inner thigh muscles are pushing up, and your arms are pushing down. You want to hold that for about 10 seconds. So you're breathing, you're pushing, you're contracting those inner thigh muscles, those adductors, and now you're going to release, and you should be able to get a little bit deeper into the stretch. So when you contract the muscle, and then you relax it, and then you should be able to get deeper in the stretch. So for some of you right now, may have started up here, But after we did let's do it one more time. I want you to push up and push down, contract, contract, release, and see if you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Trying to breathe in, feel that sensation through your inner thighs. So another example of pinup is if you were laying down and then somebody was taking your leg and they were pulling it forward until you said stop, all right? Then they would ask you to contract your quad muscle as hard as you could for 10 seconds. Then relax the leg back down. And now when they go to push your leg forward, you should be able to go a little bit further, all right, into the muscle because you're contracting it. And then when you release it, it relaxes more and allows you to get deeper into the stretch. And that's what we call that pinup stretching. All right, so we got the inner thighs. Now we're going to do that sit and reach that we assessed you before, all right? And if we flex our feet, and even if you have to bend your legs a little bit, I want you to grab your feet because when you pull your toes back, you're actually going to stretch your calf muscle along with the hamstring and the low back. From this side, it's really important. I want you to sweep your arms up. I want you to think about hinging from your waist and reach out first. Then I want you to reach down, and even if you have to bend your legs, I want you to grab your feet and pull so that you're stretching not only the hamstring and the low back, but that calf muscle too. Deep breath. Again, if you couldn't reach and you wanted to stretch the calves, you could use that belt, and now I can actually get into the stretch. I made my lever a little bit longer, so that is an option too. So again, right now, this is a passive stretch because the rope is what's doing the stretch. It's an outside source that's stretching me. If I use my own hands, now it's an active stretch. So that's what we mean by passive and active. Deep breath. And again, you could shake your legs out, release, and then do that stretch a second time to see if you can get a little bit deeper into it the second time through. You should be able to. Deep breath in through the nose, exhale out. Okay, the next one we're going to do is called the figure four, and it's going to stretch your gluteus area, your outer thigh, and if anybody's knows what sciatica is, you have a nerve that goes from your low back all the way down your leg, and it gets pinched because the glute muscle and we call it the piriformis muscle get really tight, and it pinches the nerve, and you get pain here and in your low back. So this is a good stretch to alleviate that pain, and we call it the figure four because your leg's going to be like the number 4. So you're going to take one leg, cross it over the other, make sure it's pressed out. Then you're going to come in, you're going to take your hands, clasp behind your thigh, bring this leg up so that now your legs are making that number 4. Feel that sensation. I want you to think about pressing out, feeling through the outer thigh, the glute, that piriformis muscle. This is a really good one. Deep breath. And let's switch sides, crossing over. And if it feels too much of a sensation to straighten your leg, you can always keep it bent too, as long as you're feeling that stretch through that leg, the outer thigh, the glute, that deep piriformis muscle, that deep muscle that tends to be tight. Deep breath in through the nose, exhale out. All right, now we're going to stretch your stomach. I know we did yoga in this class, so this is actually called the Cobra. So showing you from the side, what you're going to do is you are going to lift up. So now I'm stretching my ab muscles and just a little gentle press. Take a deep breath in through your nose, exhale out. So for every muscle, there's more than one stretch. So if there's one you don't feel, we can always give you a different stretch for that. All right, there's always different stretches that we can do. All right, and let's go back to a child's pose here, rounding through your upper back, deep breath. All right, now we're going to do what people call the world's greatest stretch. So let's say you're really pressed for time and you don't want to take too much time doing stretching after you've worked out. If you do this world's greatest stretch, you're going to be hitting a lot of the muscles that would be tight after a workout. So let's do it together. It's not very long. We're going to stand up, and you're going to bring one leg forward and come into a lunge position. Let me show you from the side. So you're going to come into this lunge position, and you're going to have one hand down. So right now I'm stretching my hip flexor and my quad of that leg. Okay, now if you can, you're going to take the arm that's closest to your leg and you're going to come down on your forearm. If that's too low for you and you feel too much of a stretch, okay, then you're just going to be here. But otherwise, this is 1, and then you're going to come down 2, and then you're going to bring this arm up, twisting through your torso, 3, then bring this hand on this side, and I'm going to show you from this side, because right now, if I push this foot back, I'm stretching my calf, and if I lift this toe up, I'm stretching my shin. So I'm getting this shin and that calf. And then the very last thing you're going to do, I'm going to be facing to the back, but I'll show you from the other side too, is you're going to turn and stretch your inner thigh. And that's the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to do it again on the other leg. So come into that wide lunge position. Both hands are on the inside. If you can, come down to your forearm. Then send that arm up, stretching through your torso area. Bring this hand down. Now I'm going to bring my back heel down, lift this toe up. So I'm stretching through the shin and the calf of the other leg. And then I'm going to turn to the side and come into a deep side lunge, stretching my inner thigh where we tend to be really tight. So remember, take the time to stretch, even if you just do the world's greatest stretch, because flexibility has a lot of benefits. You get more out of your workout. You're less prone to injury. You feel better. You have better posture when you're able to be mobile throughout a joint. So please take the time to stretch. Have a fit and happy day. And I can give you your book. In your book, there's actually a stretch program. But if you want to have one in writing, I can do that for you. You just let me know. Have a fit and happy day. Peace out.